I'm here with Alexander Louis Arde. Alexander Louis Arde represented the Currie Cup, Natal in the Currie Cup for numerous years. He was South African Currie Cup captain also for many, many years. Won the Currie Cup 3 times. Won the Premier League in Natal for 5 times. He played for Durban United, African Wanderers in Durban City. Welcome, Louis.
Thanks, Enzo. Much appreciated, Tom.
It's an honor for me and a privilege to be able to sit down and chat with you. I've been meaning to do it for a long time. And thank you for taking the time to do this. Before we get started with your football career, your illustrious football career, tell me something about your family, your siblings, where you were born, if we can start there.
Well, thank you, Enzo, for the privilege of being with you. As an ex-teammate of mine at Durban City, thank you for the opportunity to share my story. I grew up in Greyville, in Sutton Park, and attended St Agnes School, where it was a very humble area, Greyville, in those days. I think you're a Greyville boy as well. You lived close by. People like Mouse Rivera, Gordon Chislett, Richie Musso, Dougie Kutsia. So many names we could just rattle off. Desi Horn, who played for Wolves. Johnny Sinclair, Alistair McLean. All those guys grew up in that humble area. And went to St Agnes from grade 1 to grade 5, which is standard 3. And I remember us, we had to put our little boots on from under 8. I think we were in class 2. And we had to run down Argyle Road, through the back of Somsu Road, and all the way to the old Kingsmead where the cricket ground is today. There were fields out there, and we had to practice. So as a little boy, 7 years old, we had to run after school all that way, boots around us, and practice there. And I remember the first kind of recollection that I had that we were fairly decent was the under 9 cup final, 5-a-side. Durban used to have a massive 5-a-side every year there. And I remember us playing Mansfield in the final, and we were too poor to have jerseys, our school. And so we wore our white school shorts, our white school shirts, our school socks, and of course BG Continentals. And
everybody had a pair of those.
And we went through, and we met Mansfield in the final. And on that side was people like Robbie Martin was our goalkeeper, and the legendary Robbie Martin. And then people like Ricky Smith, Petey van Staden, just to mention some names. And we beat Mansfield in the final, 1-0. And that was the first time I kind of realised that Oldham St Agnes, wasn't a bad school from a soccer point of view. But I never played club soccer. There was St Joseph's, which was a very strong place, but I never played for St Joseph's. And after grade 5 ends, my dad, being a Catholic, took me to St Henry's, which was a private school, and from then on it was...
Was your dad a big influence in your starting your football?
No, not really. My dad worked hard. He worked 7 days a week, and but he understood the importance of education. He had gone to St Charles College in Maritzburg, and he understood the importance of a private education, and so he put me in St Henry's. And there, we played rugby and we played cricket. So those were my 2 sports that I played throughout my school days. I did go for standard 6, 7 and 8 to St Charles because my dad wanted me to be in St Charles, experienced boarding school, and I came back and in Standard 9 and Standard 10, now grade 11 and 12 at St Henry's. I did play the odd game for under 14. Morris had a club and they practiced in Breer Park.
Yes.
But they were in, like, you know, in those days you had A, B, C, D, E, F, G leagues in the soccer.
Juniors.
And I remember playing in one particular game. I was a striker. I was always a striker growing up. And we played Durban City. Reggie Sutton, Clive Cardinal, Grant McDade. And we drew them in a cup. All the sides went into the hat. And we played them. And I remember watching the game from centre forward, and we lost 16-0. And I then realised, hold on, where we were in the pecking order, and they had all the best juniors, Durban City, Durban United, Addington, they were there. And so played that. It was a very humbling experience. I don't think I touched the ball being up front. And so, but continued playing soccer. And
you had no interest in other sports?
yes,
Did you excel in any of the other sports?
yeah, rugby I played first team. And then cricket, I was an opening bowler, middle order batsman. And then at the end of '68, I was asked by DHS to do a post-matric. And I went across and opened the bowling for DHS with Trevor Hearn, who ended up playing for Natal. And middle order batsman, so I was a DHS, and so I'm a DHS whole boy as well. And yeah, my cricket, I played for Morris after school, first division with Pat Trimborn and them, and Jimmy Russell and all those guys. I got married young, and I realised when I went to the army in Dienstvak School in Pretoria, as a striker, I realised that I had some ability as a soccer player. Okay. And then came, just out of army, just towards the end of it, quite a lovely story, because Jack Payne, the father of David Payne.
Horse racing family?
Correct. And David, was champion jockey of South Africa.
He won the July.
That's right, on Chimbora, I think.
Yes, that's right.
I think he dead heated with Jollyfly.
Yes.
And David's dad was a bricklayer, Mr. Payne. I don't know, they had about 8 kids. They lived in Walls Avenue, which was a very poor road in Greyville.
Just off Windermere Road.
Correct.
I know the exact house.
And then they came into a little bit of money and they bought in Bishop Road.
Yes, that's where I know them.
That's where you know them from. And I used to, and then the old man got involved in an argument one day, and he said to some guys, he said, you guys are Durban Cities and Durban Uniteds, I could pick a Greyville side. They could take them all out, and there was a lot of debate, and old man Jack Payne was a strong man. And so there was a club called Upton, and they were closing. They were in the A division, because you had A, B, C, D, E, F, G in the under-19 leagues. And he bought Upton. And out the blue one day, he approached me and said, would you come and play for my side? I'm going to call it Hots, under-19. And I couldn't believe it, because I was in the army, and so Hearts under-19 was born. Doug Coetzee was our goalkeeper.
Yes.
We had a fabulous centre-half, Keith Scott, who was absolutely brilliant. He would have gone on to play professional soccer, but Keith got electrocuted. Sadly, he worked for the railways at a young age. Louis Ribeiro, Jimmy Hollows played. I think the famous Trevor Denman, I think.
Was he the commentator later?
The famous commentator that ended up commentating in America. And then there was Charlie Casma, Alan Whitlock, one of the Pierce brothers, And so in we went.
Yeah. An interesting thing is my first club was also Hearts.
They
I
started
started
at
under
juniors.
9s. Yes, I was under 9. I played for Hearts, and it was Mr. Payne that had started the club, as you said. And it was my first club too, under 9s. Chiro Toscano,
Yes.
he ran our team in under 10s.
Can you believe that? I mean,
Yeah.
I remember those juniors
Yeah.
there. You know, Mr. Payne was a great guy. And that team, it gave us all an opportunity. I was a striker. And that gave us an opportunity to be showcased for the first time against all the stars that had come up. And yeah, Mr. Payne was right. We didn't realise that we had that ability. He gave us the platform. And we won that league by about 5 points. And 5 of us got chosen for the Durban team.
Durban in districts.
Durban in districts. And none of us had ever made it. It was an incredible experience. And
At that point, were you playing defender or striker?
striker.
Still striker.
I was a striker. And one funny note there was all the guys were poor. And David came down one day and said, I want a ram from each one of you guys. I've got a horse that's running in the July next week and in full flight. And we all had to find a rand. And
Rand was a lot of money.
it was
in
a
those
lot
days.
of money. And guys like Charlie Kaz and all that. Charlie Adamson was in that side as well. And we all scrounged the rand. When I say to you, we scrounged the rand, we scrounged the rand. And I remember the game was stopped. We were playing in one of the outer fields. And amazingly, the game was stopped and we listened to the July in full flight one going away. And it paid R7.50. We were rich. It was the biggest amount of money any one of us had ever had. Thanks to David,
Yeah.
he trained the horse, it was a famous horse in full flight.
Did you train it or ride it?
He trained it because
Okay.
he had just changed from, he got too heavy to be a jockey. And so David was always around, and our coach was Errol Mann.
Okay.
Errol was our coach, and we trained at municipals, where Juventus was later.
Botanic Gardens.
Botanic Gardens. And so that gave us a springboard, and 5 of us made the Durban district side. And that gave us the springboard. And I'm eternally grateful to the Payne family. They were wonderful people that influenced many lives because they gave you self-belief.